Hi guys,
Hi,
this is Anna,
I'm Cory.
and we're from Kit and Cat Shop. And today we have a box from Culture Japan. We did recently order some chaos items. We have not opened this yet, so you're going to see the things just as we see them as well. Couple items we know what's in there. We don't know exactly which one we got, and we got some new things as well. Ready?
Yep. Okay. Hey, look, it's stuff that we ordered.
So, and we've got a camera so you guys be able to see inside the box too.
We want to talk first about the chaos stuff because we don't know what that was. So we wanted you guys to be involved with the same surprise that we are getting.
So Danny sometimes will put what he calls chaos items on his website. And usually these are, well, like in the past, they've been things that didn't meet A grade or A plus best grade items. We've never been able to figure out exactly what was wrong with them, but so they're good quality items. Sometimes they're overstocks or discontinued items or items that he made a prototype and decided not to put in for production. So this time around, we got the notice early in the morning that Wigs.
He was going to be selling chaos wigs. And by chaos, it just means you're going to pay for something and we're not going to tell you what it is, which is why this is a surprise box, because we know we ordered chaos wigs, but we didn't know what those wigs would be.
Do you want to take the wigs out or do I take the wigs out? Okay. So, and as with most things you get from Culture Japan, they come in a resealable bag.
We'll get Little Miss impatient to pause for a second so we can put what it looks like under this camera right here. So this is the way it comes. We got 2 chaos wigs. Now you can open them.
Okay. And in the usual resealable and reusable Culture Japan Ziploc. And the little cardboard are just to kind of keep the wigs from getting crushed. And we have 2. And because these are chaos, they don't come in the special drawstring bags. So it looks like we've got a short brown. And this does look like it's Eji's original wig. The little taper in the back. So we've got a short wig, which is kind of cool because we have Tayo and Billy. And this looks like this is Crimson's wig. So we got the 2 guy wigs.
This is a Sephiroth wig.
I kind of like it because it's kind of a short cut, but it's longer in the back. Actually, she looks kind of cute that way. It goes with her gray eyes. So I kind of like it. I'm going to say that they're not boy wigs. I'm just going to say that they're unisex.
Okay, honestly, I want that exact same wig, but in red for zooming.
Yeah. There's one more chaos item. We did get the bodysuit.
That's not a chaos item.
Yeah, it was. It was actually in the chaos. So, and this is actually several pieces. We've got the torso piece, the long leggings piece, and 2 sleeves. So, and that's going to be for number 10. Number 10 is our Chaos Cortex that I assembled, and she's been working as one of our fit models. So I thought it'd be nice for her to have that, kind of hide her seams on the Cortex if we decide to dress her.
Okay, apparently somebody was clicking add to cart when I wasn't looking. We have an arrangement. She is the one that gets to click all of the add to cart buttons, and I am the one that clicks the payment information buttons.
The last thing that we ordered, it wasn't a chaos item, was the new stand that Danny's come out, Clickety-Clack. Now, there was a lot of confusion, there was a lot of comments on the internet about the stands for Smart Doll. So we were gonna kind of go over some of the stands, since we do have the original stand, we've got the second generation plus, and the turbo joint, as well as the tripod stand, and now the Clickety-Clack. And we actually got 3 because sometimes when we go out, we actually do multiple dolls in one shoot. So we thought it'd be nice to have more than just one.
We wanted options.
So the original stand, I'm gonna put this so everybody can see it. This came from our milk dolls, Kit and Kat, our Kanata and Anniversary Kazuna, and it collapsed. So Smart Dolls are engineered so that they can hold their pose. They can stand on their own 2 feet, and that was a big thing for Danny. But Danny did realize that if you're taking these dolls out and about, and people are walking by, or you might be in rough terrain, like when we had the dolls in Goblin Valley, they needed something to help them be a little bit more secure. And 3 points is much more stable than 2. So he designed the stand. And let's see at the camera, there's a little port back here, and the stand just kind of clicks into the port. And you don't have to click it all the way in flush, because a lot of times they might be wearing clothing, and his clothing usually includes an opening for the stand. And we try to do the same with our patterns and clothing as well. So it just kind of tucks in there, and then you slide down, and then that way she's much more stable and not as prone to tipping back or tipping off to the side. And because it's just the one point up here, you can usually move the stand side to side to kind of hide it by your leg. So you're done posing her, get ready to leave for the day, you take the stand out, collapse it, and take it with you.
Now, the one thing about the original that I like is this end right here. It's basically a car antenna or a radio antenna, but this has a nice big base on it with a little rubber bit around it to kind of keep it from sliding. But I do really like this big fat tip on the end of it. That is one of the big things I like about the original that we got. And then they have the second version,
which is just neatest. And if you notice, this is a milk color, this one's tea. So at that time, he was actually making the stands, when you get it with your doll, it would match your doll's skin tone. So what he did was, he made this one a little tighter. This one, some people complained that over time it would loosen up and it wouldn't hold its position, and slowly the doll would tip back, or they would be kind of rough with it and bend this portion because it gets narrower as it gets to the bottom. And sometimes this little rubber piece would get lost, and then you just have bare metal and that would slip around. So we have more of like a little rubber foot that's kind of sticky. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but you can actually hear that it's a tighter antenna. So that was version 2, but they're the same length pretty much.
and you can see that the end is different. And the reason why I prefer this one over this is just a rubber cap, and it does occasionally slide off. And so I'm always afraid of losing this rubber tip.
So that was version 2. And then he had made another adjustment to it. And this one's really nice. This one's thicker than these two. And it's also folds shorter, so you can actually stick it in your pocket. And again, and all of them fit in the same port. But this one is a lot thicker. And when you collapse it, it's short enough it can fit in your pocket, so you're not liable to move it around. At the same time he was adjusting the stands, he also came out with something else called a turbo joint. And it has a hinge in it that allows the part that goes in the back of the doll to rotate around. And it'll rotate pretty much 90 degrees in either direction. And it's got a tube at the end, so you put your stand in the back of the turbo joint and put it in her. Now the advantage to the turbo joint is it changes the angle. Because these are angled in a certain way, you're kind of limited. It's always going to extend out on that same angle, so it's going to get further and further away from the doll. But if you've got her in some place that's kind of close quarters, you can have it run almost parallel to the doll. So she can get closer to a wall, she can get closer to a shelf. Now again, remember this was not intended as her display stand, but just as a means to stabilize her if you've got her out for photographs or you need that for the terrain or a slope. So say, you know, if she wants to stand in front of a tree or this pole. Look, I've actually got her balanced. She wouldn't be able to do that otherwise. So Danny had the tripod stand. And now this one works very much like one of our light stands or your camera's tripod. It's got a attachment on the bottom, so it will collapse flat.
The centerpiece just sits in there. So this is completely separate, but it's the exact same as all of the others, except it goes straight down. But this center column that slides into is adjustable just like a tripod.
Yeah. There's just a little compression fitting here. So if you do lose it, it's pretty easy to pull it back up. Okay. Now you can do action shots. So we have this progression of stands, and especially with the turbo. So the Newsstand, she's got somewhere to be. Kind of combines all of those together a little bit, other than the tripod part, but it is shorter. It's actually shorter than the shorter one. It still has the larger rubber bottom instead of the thin little piece.
Looks like he's actually made that a little bit more durable. It's got a little bit bulbous on there instead of this. You can see that one is just a thin rubber cap, and this one looks like it's actually got some meat to it.
Yeah, and it looks like he's using the thicker telescope.
Clicks into place. It goes all the way flush and all the way vertical. So
there you go.
Yeah, this is the turbo joint. It is. I do like this better. It's
because it clicks instead of
it's got the clicking
just pressure.
So this will actually loosen up the more you use it. It's just got this little nut in here and a screw on the other side. So it will, as you move it, you do run the risk of it either becoming too tight and you can't move it, and then you're going to wind up bending the antenna part when you're trying to adjust it, or it's going to become too loose and then it's just going to flop around. So this, the Clickety-Clack, I actually do like that. I think he's... Danny, I know what you did. I know exactly where you got this. You know what this feels like to me, Danny? This is Lego.
So, let's try it. Wow.
So we've got it straight down for a point. Clickety-clack it out. And, we can still rotate it to hide it behind a leg. So, yeah, I'm a fan of the Clickety-Clack.
So, during the camera break, I went in the closet and grabbed one of our toolboxes. And that's literally what it is. It's from Harbor Freight. It's a parts holder. And we use this when we go and take our dolls out and about, because that was one of the reasons we actually got the dolls, is for
location shoots.
Yeah.
And we actually have several of these. This is the small one, and we've got several really large ones, but we can basically take everything with them. Feet, shoes, hair,
bus, wigs.
All of them are in variations of this Harbor Freight small parts organizer. And the nice thing about it is that all of the little bins inside are interchangeable. So you can adjust it to hold what you actually need. So this one came with assorted sizes, but we wanted all of the small ones in here because it was going to be holding the things that we need.
Yeah, and this one's actually marked SMB stands, etc. So this is kind of the toolbox for the dolls. And we've got we took out some of the containers because we wanted the nice long spot, because that's where we were putting the original stands. And we've got our baby brush and comb for flyaways, on site, on location hairstyling. Our melamine sponges for
Mr. Clean Erasers.
For cleanups and touches. Our elf ears, for some reason, ended up in here instead of in one that's marked hands. But then we also have extra compartments, so we can put some of the hands if we know we're going to need grabby hands for holding stuff, or piece hand, or...
This is actually like a third of the size of the big one, so this we can slip into the pack if we're actually going to be going we don't want to be making multiple trips back and forth to get everything, so we can just have this small one that fits in one of our photography bags or a backpack.
It's like our go bag.
And have just the essentials that we actually need, like the baby hairbrush. Now, this is I've seen a lot of people that are using soft toothbrushes and everything. This is the way to go. This works a lot better. This has cured most of the flyaways with a little bit of a mist from a squirt bottle, which is in the basement.
Yeah.
So this is my favorite way to get their flyaway hair under control for a shot.
So yeah, all three stands, and they're orange, but I don't have a problem with that. Sometimes a lot of the new products Danny does will come out orange first, and then when he does them in production, because he does say eventually the dolls will come with this version of the stand. New wigs. We have the protective bodysuit for number 10, so we don't see her seams and weld marks.
So we hope you've enjoyed this. We hope that you may have learned something, and if you were on the fence about getting the Clickety-Clacks or anything else, we're going to say, yeah, you should probably have it. It's going to give us a lot more opportunities when we're posing the dolls, and make it a little bit easier to hide the stand for the photo shoots. So yeah, we're going to go with that, and we just really wanted to show you what we got as a chaos. There's not a whole lot of point in reviewing those wigs because they're standard wigs. So they are nice. We do like them, and they're going to be used somewhere. I think this is going to be Android 10s, and then we have a spare for the boys. So no disappointment on what we received as the chaos order. We hope that you've enjoyed this. We hope you've learned something. This video was brought to you by the letter A, the number 7, and chocolate chip cookies.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Remember, ask for Smart Doll by name. Accept no substitutes. No Vokes, no AliExpress. Only Smart Dolls are smart. Only smart customers buy Smart Doll.